Hey, hi, and hello, and welcome to the artist talk, where we talk about art things and what's going on in the world of art, I should say. Jesus. Now allow me to get some. I can't. I thought I had this open earlier. I guess I didn't. But I'm gonna get the list of questions that I have made during school, uh, after like finishing some work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jesus, this is like very unprofessional. All right, there we go. Now, as you can see here, right, I have two other guests here with me. Would you guys care to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Hello, world. Hello, story side of the internet. I am Misfit Madness. I am a VTuber on the internet that does variety streaming, but also does art on my channel.
Uh, Hello. I'm Voidmo. Usually just go by Mo, but I am a freelance illustrator. That does comic art, illustration, learning different types of things for game art. But art is an interest, mostly.
And okay, now, what was I gonna say again? All right, so, would you, okay, wait, give me a sec. Um,
It's okay.
This Misfit, do you have a picture? Do you have like Photoshop or anything that you can draw on? Cause I'm gonna get us some like list of things to draw if that's all right.
Yeah. So essentially what I draw on is like whenever I'm streaming and stuff is I draw on my iPad in Procreate. And so I don't really have a way that like to do the collaborative stuff like some people do with the tablets, but I do have a way to draw. So I can doodle and draw whatever inside of my Procreate program.
If you want, there's I think Magma, what it's called. If you want to do it like collaborative, everybody
Yeah, I don't
draws
know where my
together on the
tablet is to
page.
do that.
Oh,
Yeah, if I could find my tablet, I probably could do it, but it's hiding in a box somewhere from whenever we moved, so I still haven't been able to find it.
okay.
Think about the likes on.
Okay, so today, for this episode at least, we're gonna start off this episode drawing one of my characters. Would you be willing to guys? Would you be willing to draw one of my characters, guys? Just wanna make sure.
Oh shit! I
Uh,
didn't know we were drawing specific characters. I thought we were just like getting in like a group and doodling.
oh, okay. I'll load up a separate canvas. There we go.
All right. So, I have a list of characters. I think I have it all the way down here.
Mm.
Okay, so our first thing to draw, we are going to draw one of my characters that I have on TikTok as well as in some of my animations on my
Mm.
YouTube.
Okay.
Her name is Faith, and she is the girl that you see on my stream that's wearing all red with black and she's black and she has purple hair. Do
Okay.
you guys see that?
Uh.
Uh, is this somewhere?
Okay.
Uh,
Let me send you guys a photo on Discord so that you guys can see what
So I'd be
I
confused. Like
am.
any of our prompts that we have, you can send it in the text chat in this voice channel, so that way we can see it.
Okay. Let me first find a. Okay, there we go. Alright, I think I have a better way. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me just take a screenshot of this real quick. And then let me go to Discord. That.
Dog, I do not know how to draw a chair.
Alright,
Huh?
did you guys get it?
One moment. Is it in the generals? Or
Yeah, it's in the general. It's in a general chat.
I'm not seeing it.
Just gonna say, I don't see it, honey.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me
if
just
you're going
try
for
it right.
the-
Let me try it right here. Then let me see if this would work.
Yeah, there's a general chat where we are technically. Oh, it doesn't have to be like generals. It's the general voice channel. There's a text right beside the open chat.
Oh, okay. I'll do that next time.
It's okay.
For the next prompt.
I got it posted in there specifically now, so.
Okay.
Okay, so did you guys are you guys able to see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so that is who we're going to draw. If you guys do you guys want to know like any background around this character at all, or?
Sure.
Alright, so she is one of my characters inside a comic book series that I am currently writing for a school project, as well as she is quite adventurous, and she uses a katana, a Japanese sword, for her primary weapon.
Okay.
She is very enthusiastic, as well as joyful most of the time, but also laid back. So do with that what you will, and we can get started on drawing. And when you're done drawing, please tell me so that I would know, and then we can start the next prompt. All right, guys.
All right.
All right. So our first question of this stream is, what are some ways for artists to grow, both in skill and social media wise?
Oh, that's a good question for you, Mo.
Yeah, kinda. I don't know much about social media, but I just.
Well, like the ways to grow and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
It just depends. It works depending on the person. You can honestly, you have both your ways of learning on your own as well. It depends on what you're trying to learn. They can tell you to go back to the fundamentals. A lot of people just tell you, oh, go back and learn realism and so on. But it kind of just depends on what you want to draw, and then honing in on that skill learning, yes, the fundamentals, so you can actually have an understanding of what you're doing and not just sheerly copying the formula that other people have done and the shortcuts that they have taken. But it just depends. If you're learning something, look at it and break it down into its simplest compositions. So you can take what you're looking at and break it down better, learning faster and taking a lot of the headache out of it. So when you're wanting to say, oh, I want to learn how to draw people, okay, you're learning how to draw perspective, anatomy, and learning those rules so you can break them. They have a lot of people that can usually give you like really in-depth tutorials. So I'm pretty much just a lot of the stuff that I'd be saying would be copying people like Marco Gucci, Mark Brunette, person that I started off learning from when I wanted to get into anime style work was Mark Crilly. A lot of people that I'm influenced by right now are TV Cho, and a few other artists. But it's like seeing what they do and breaking down what they're doing. So in like Mark Brunette's video, he broke it down into what you want to learn from a person. So if you like the inking style from say like Beautiful Joe, and then you like the coloring style or like cell shading and things of that nature from a particular artist, a particular show or genre, you can hone in on what they're doing by what parts you're pulling from it. And it makes the whole task easier than just saying like, oh, I want to learn how to draw a anime person, or I want to make shonen manga or shoujo or so on. It's taking it and breaking it into bite-sized chunks rather than a full problem of looking at the mountain of, oh, I have to learn how to do everything. You just have to break it down into first draw the head, first draw, then draw the neck, learn how to draw the shapes. And when you can go from there, you can skip a lot of the busy work. But learning to simplify is the biggest thing for me, because I learned from the process of just taking a lot of the things that I've done and just self-taught. I didn't know a lot of the stuff that I'd done was just bad habits. I ended up teaching a lot of the stuff that I ended up doing into how I learn now, and I have to undo a lot of the things that I've learned because it just doesn't work. Yeah, I have to go backwards before I can go forwards on some pieces just because I have realized, oh, this process doesn't work. But for me, it's just how I've been told is you can complicate a lot of the stuff that you're looking at far easier because it's like, oh, I want to draw a chair. That chair is a giant rectangle. And you think about like the cartoon chairs that they have. It's like it was three rectangles close together that made a chair. And then you're just carving away at it until it makes whatever style chair that you're wanting to make. So you're just whittling it down from its simplest shapes.
Mm-hmm.
So usually you can take those fundamental breakdowns and then move it into complicated areas. So line weight, variation in detailing, inking styles, all those things can just be broken down into lessons, tricks, not really tricks, but lessons and tools. So you can find what works for you, but don't start off overwhelming yourself with, I have to use this tool set, this pack, this thing that someone told me on the internet. Just start with the basics, and then you can experiment with it, because you're not going to know what, like, I guess they told me, just like compare it to cooking. You're not going to know what a process blender is for certain things until you get involved with something that needs to have a process blender. You're not going to know how to use certain ingredients because you've never had to use them. So it's just starting off with activated yeast and not knowing that you have to let the bread sit. But it's just mainly taking what you need to know and making it simpler and putting it into chunks that you can see. And even if you're not drawing, you're looking at art and saying, okay, this is how they're doing that. And just studying from them, but not fully just ripping off a lot of their stuff. Granted, tracing, copying, a lot of that stuff is helpful practice, but you don't want to get into a point where you're only copying and only doing that so you don't understand what you're doing, in my opinion.
I honestly completely agree with that. How I started like a long like like a long time ago. It was during my freshman year in inside high school, and what I would do is I would find artists like Unknown Spy, Gotch, Gotcha or something like that. They're both on Instagram. They're really good artists. But like I would copy or not really copy. I would take inspiration, which is another word for stealing. No, I'm just playing. But what I would do is that I would study the anatomy process of what uh, Unknown Spy would do, and how she draws her characters are like what really inspires me on how to do like this cartoonish anime stylish and stuff like that. But as you said before, you want to like try to make it your own. So like I did like a step by step process on like how to get better on what to draw, what my references were, and I'm pretty sure anyone will tell you, even even outside of this stream or like with any artist in general, they would say that references are very important when it comes to drawing because nothing is really original, but you can make it seem that way, you know?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Misfit, do you have anything to add?
No, that's why I gave Bo the floor because of the fact that I knew he knew exactly what to say because we've had this conversation before.
All right, so you guys ready to move on to the next question?
Sure.
Yep.
All right, so our next question is what do you think are some issues within the art industry when it comes to art?
I feel like art is not seen as something that is essentially a job still to this day. It sucks because the fact that like there's so many people that they're so passionate about a certain thing and all that they really want to do with their lives is to be able to like bring joy and like give some give somebody a service to be able to provide that joy, and people still see it as like the starving artist and X and Y, and it really sucks, honestly. um a lot of times people will also ask for things that they think should be for free, and that's not even specific to the industry, that's just specific to the internet and the culture itself. And that shit sucks too because of the fact that like just because it's a skill that I have and I'm able to do doesn't mean that it's a free service. So
Okay. And what are your opinions on what is your opinion? Wait, I forgot what your name was. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you can just call. Oh, you're good. You can just call me, Mo.
Okay, what are your opinions on this topic, Mo?
In general, just dryness with certain things in the art community. Mm, it just depends. Because if it's with the art industry, it's usually just like Misfit was saying, between being seen as, oh, you do it for fun, therefore you might as well do it at a discounted rate for exposure and different types of things that they feel would work for them rather than the artists themselves.
it's
But
honestly kind of like them cringy ass TikToks where it's like the girl, I literally just saw one today where she's going into the nail salon and she's like, I'll pay you with exposure. Like, oh, oh. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted to add that. Oof. Anyway, go ahead, Mo.
you're good. It's a lot of it just seems like I don't really have a lot of. The only problems I've had with it, well, granted, I've had I've had a few. It's a lot of it just comes down to people underestimating what the cost of a lot of things. So when people say, "Oh, it's this much," and then you have to do a full breakdown, but by the time you do the full breakdown, people are kind of already lost interest on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because usually I just start off with mostly it's $1 per inch. That is a shock to people when I used to do physical work. And it was just, if it's a painting, it's $1 per inch because the paint costs something, the materials cost something, the canvas costs something. And then you're paying for my experience.
The actual, yeah.
And when people, and when it comes down to it, that can be pretty shocking to people. And then I've had the issue of customers saying, "Oh, then you should pay first," or I mean, not customers saying, "I should pay when the job is done."
Yeah.
And that can be very. If you know the person, sure, do how you will with how you want to pay. The only thing is, I don't know them, and then I have the issue of, okay, I've had enough run-ins with people that have used that against me and just gotten free work out of it, and especially with now with how people can get a sketch for the amount of, say, there are some people, and I think I've had some happen to me. I stopped thinking about it after a while, but it was just they asked for a sketch, and sometimes it's a quick sketch. It doesn't take long. It's not really anything. It's nothing harmless. And then they can send it to a particular AI program, and then generate the image off of that. And I didn't get any payment off of it. Or if you do get payment off of it for the initial sketch, then you're looking at about what, $20 because normally no one works. So you're getting, say, if you're working at a standard rate, which is just you would want to get paid pretty much above minimum wage, is an hour. And if it's an hour sketch, then you're looking at about, say, at minimum, $10, $12 an hour, depending on the comfort level of the person charging. And then you're looking at, okay, that was $12. For some, yeah, that's good. $12 is good. But they can turn around and do multiple things with that. That's out of your control. So it's just, it annoys me for that, but that is just kind of with a lot of things with time and so on and so forth. It's things are going to change. So I don't know. I kind of just watch. It's not like a very big gripe about a lot of things because I know a lot of it's just for industry stuff, and I don't know enough about a lot of the industry stuff for me to. It's just I see it, and it's just more of a disappointment rather than anger. It's like looking at something like you could have did this better, but you played it safe, ruined the entire source,
You
and
yourself.
yeah, you wasted everybody's time by playing it safe instead of actually doing what most people intend when it comes to being adventurous with the work, and usually how the story is told through the artist. It's disappointing is my thing. It's just when someone tells you, "Oh, I'm going to use your story that you've worked hard on and put your blood, sweat, and tears into, and then we're going to soften that story up, filter it so it reaches a broader audience, and just basically dumb it down for anybody that doesn't want to learn about it." And yeah, this will work. And it just ruins the source. And that's just more of a gripe against people who want to try and make everything palatable for people. I don't like that it's just, if it's going to make you uncomfortable, it's because the person was uncomfortable in the process of making it. Some stories are based around, say, depression and all these other phases of a person's life, and you've kind of just chalked it up to this story did well, so let's tell this story as we see fit because it did well.
Yeah. Okay. I will say we are getting a little far from our subject.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I completely agree with what you just said, and it does become a problem when you, especially with AI, and when people just like steal your skills that you've worked like years to hone. And some and the fact we're gonna get into AI and like later down the line, but like especially when you said like people don't really like I'm pretty sure people don't understand the process of what like art entails most of the time. That's what I honestly believe. I don't think people understand what goes into the process of art, what like how much time it actually takes. Like for example, like I just did a fish-eyed view, or some people would call it a five-eyed a five what you call it oh yeah, a five-eye point of view or something like that. And it took me 3 hours just to get the sketch done, and that's like not and that's like after erasing all of my lines and other stuff. And I will say, I am a beginner artist, so so it will take me like less time, but especially with like as you said, like you want to get paid at least a good amount for the amount of time that you put in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and also within this economy, it's like it's like when you live inside the US and you're an artist, and like most of the time you won't get paid as much. So like you won't get paid as much as like sometimes even a fast food worker who works like 20 hours inside their job, you know, because that's actually happened to me quite a lot. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and like I think it's just more of people just not understanding of what the process, or like the lack of education when it comes to art, especially on how, as you said, the storytelling, the way on how the artist intends, like it's it's usually just like all that stuff, and it happens also to musicians as well, which is like a which is like somewhat a complete different topic, but it still somewhat relates to it since it's known as like a art form or a way of expressing yourself. Like like people seem to think that it's just, oh, you just draw a bunch of circles and triangles or whatever, and you just like make it happen, and bam, something great happens. But there's such a long process with this kinds of stuff.
Hmm.
You guys have anything to add to this one?
Mm-mm.
I'm good on that.
All right, so we're gonna get into the next question. I probably should have written down more questions than these. Okay, so um, all right. This question is: what are some ways to get into art, both industry wise as well as personal, as well as like personal wise, you know, like doing freelance and stuff like that.
Well, the first one I couldn't tell you, but the second one I can tell you because of the fact that I've been drawing since I was big enough to have a pencil in my hand. Essentially, with any talent, doesn't matter if it's art or music or anything like that, you have to have the initiative to want to learn about it. Give me just a second. Um, the thing about having that initiative is finding that interest and nurturing that drive to be able to continue on learning and developing and just making sure that that certain thing that you're interested in is something that you're going to continuously be interested in and learn about. Like with me, two of my biggest things that I have taken the time to learn and grow and have stayed interested in is my art and my VTubing. Specifically VTubing because of the fact that I've learned a lot about model making and creating my avatar myself. Like I've done a lot of modifications to my avatar and learning about how to do a lot of different stuff with the different creative functionalities of actually doing live streaming. And just it's a lot of, for one, having an interest, but for two, nurturing that drive and making sure that you never fall out of that interest, because otherwise you're never going to grow within that skill. It's like with any skill, you have to continuously hone that skill so that way you can continue on and keep that skill, otherwise you'll eventually lose it.
And I would say, I guess on top of that would be understanding the difference and not letting certain things bother you. Because I've usually because as I've drawn all my life, started very young, and personally, a lot of the time, and a lot of the times I hear when it comes to drawing is like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not this, I'm not that, it's talent, it's this, it's that. And that kind of is usually what I've had to kind of stop when it comes to when I used to work at certain places, and I would hear it, and they said, oh yeah, I just got into coloring because I don't really feel like drawing. The idea wasn't nurtured or so on when they're wanting to do it. And then it just stonewalls into, okay, I'm not talented, therefore I don't do it. And it's just the fact that it's a skill. A lot of things, like when it comes to art, it is a skill. It is practice, it is nurtured, it is done out of curiosity, and then further goes into full-blown curiosity into understanding afterwards. But it's just trying to get past that hurdle of, oh, they're talented, therefore they can do it, therefore I cannot do it. And it's like cooking, working with machinery, or all the other kind of stuff. It's just what you're putting your ideas into, what you're wanting to put your time into. If you're wanting to get into sports and you don't practice, you're gonna get winded on the field. It's bound to happen. You'll be able to get past some hurdles, but you're gonna get outworked by the people who just said, okay, I'm gonna go home and practice. And a lot of the time, it's just getting over that mental hurdle before you have to go into the other hurdles, which is just, okay, what do I want to do that keeps it there? How do I get past art block? How do I get past a lot of the things that stop me mentally from wanting to work? And those can hurt just as much as like going into a job and saying, okay, I want to draw. And they tell you, oh, you have to have a degree and 10 years of experience or 5 years of experience. And you just got your degree, or you don't have a degree and don't have an interest in getting a degree. Some people don't. So just, they don't want to go to school for it. I didn't want to, because personally I just didn't see. I didn't like the idea. And they said, okay, if your portfolio is strong, you can do that. And learning the right way to do it is the biggest thing. So when like how I've learned from a lot of videos, it's just they said, okay, you're wanting to go for a job in, say, like Blizzard Games, Riot Games, Naughty Dog, any of these other companies, and they say, okay, what does your portfolio look like? And it looks like a standard portfolio of either anime or whatever you like, or realistic studies from school. And as they've said, and they've worked for a lot of these companies, they said that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for someone who is able to get into certain positions. Granted, I have not worked for a AAA company, so this is all just hearsay for me. They say they're looking for something that is to what they have already. So a style that they can expand on, something that they don't have to. If they can get you in as quickly as possible and just say, go with this, do this and you have an understanding of what you're doing and a style that fits what they have going, it works. And that's how some people have been recruited. I personally have started as a freelancer. I did work for people. I continuously do work for people, and I work for small indie gaming companies, and or indie gaming company. And that's how I've only done it, is because I have something that they can do, and I'm getting experience by working freelance. And some people say if you're wanting to do the whole schooling process because you like working in a public environment, doing the whole schooling thing, and you don't have to worry about the whole money aspect either or. And they say, okay, you can go to school, and then you can work while you're in school for these companies. Ask the people who already work for the company that you're wanting to go into. And then you can say, okay, they have an art station. You can probably ask them, and if they don't answer, there's other people. But just the idea of what got you in, and they'll say, this picture, this thing. There's YouTube videos all over the place on how they've gotten into certain job facilities or companies, sharing off their portfolios, how they have viewed things, and they just how you can get and convey a lot of the things that they're looking for. And if it comes down to it, it's just what you're wanting to hyper focus on without getting burned out. Because if you're just going to go in and say, I want to do this, I want to do this, and you just keep going at it, you're going to hit a wall eventually. And what you're wanting to do will have to stand up against said wall. So if you're really not really driven kind of deal, but if you're wanting to, you have to understand what you're.
You have to understand essentially what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Was like one big thing. Because like if you don't understand what you're getting yourself into, so let's say that we go back to the portfolio thing, right? I remember when I was first getting into trying to figure out about going to school for art. I remember very heavily people telling me about how you have to have a strong portfolio, but you have to have a portfolio that doesn't look like a hot mess. So essentially what they want in your portfolio is for you to look like you have something that you specialize in. Now, is that the case for everything? Absolutely not. But going through and doing that sort of thing and just learning what, let's say, Blizzard wants for said portfolios whenever you're submitting your application for that, I personally, like, that was my, like, goal is to go work for whatever AAA company. I would research that company, figure out what they want for a portfolio, and do work towards that to be able to better myself and my skill set to be able to aid in what they are looking for.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's my only understanding of it. And if you're wanting to do like anything when it comes to working for freelance stuff, it's just the jobs are out there. It's just how you can put yourself out there to do so. So there's places like Work Indie where they're always looking for indie companies are looking for indie developers, programmers, animators. They're just looking for people who can do jobs, and that's one way to get your foot in the door if you have the ability and portfolio to set yourself up for that. Variation in style and what you're looking for, you can usually help with that. And then just Indeed, there's ways you can contact people on there. And if it comes down to it, yeah, some of the people that I've contacted were through the company that I was with, and then I talked to some of their hiring department, and they said, "Oh yeah, you just need to work on these things. Go to this place, go to Work Indie, talk to so on and so forth." And they just said it was just what I have is very limited for what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So when I was looking for it, it was just, oh, I don't have the right stuff for a portfolio. Okay, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
And then after time, it's just I didn't want to work for games. I wanted to create my own stuff.
Right.
And that's something you have to learn over time. I spent my entire adolescence looking at, oh, I want to work for this game company. I want to make games. I want to make games. And when it changes, you have to just change with
So
it.
you have to ever change, ever flow,
Yeah.
like water.
And that's another thing, because after time, having that, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, you're gonna hit a slump. You're gonna plateau. It's
That's your
gonna
fault.
get annoying. Yeah. It's just it takes time to get over it, but everybody hits a wall. And that's just something that people have to understand. It's gonna get irritating. You're gonna get mad at art, but don't associate the anger with art, because then you start getting more regulated art blocks, and it's like you start getting uncomfortable just drawing. And I've gone through slumps of just not drawing for months, surely just because it only brought me more anxiety.
Oh, dude,
But
I've gone at least like 6 months before without drawing. That shit sucks.
Oh yeah. I've gone through some like really big art blocks too, and like at most, if I've only ever gone through an art block for like maybe a let's say 2 weeks, right? Like that's the longest I'll ever get. But during like for me, what helps me during an art block is like I just keep trying until like I just can't anymore. It's like that's I'm pretty sure that's like the most unhealthy way to deal with an art block or with like anything that you're struggling with, but it's what helped me like get through like what would be so long of just trying to just get into art.
Mm-hmm. I definitely will say that whenever you come across any kind of art block, it's definitely always good to try to get to a point where you can at least doodle something. It might sound dumb and silly, and it might just be the crudest doodle you've ever made. But if you can just put something on paper, it kind of helps get some kind of creative flow going again because of the fact that you've been stunting yourself, be it 2 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, however long, you've stunted yourself. And so now you have to try to get that flow back. And so just to put something pen to paper is always a good starting point, regardless of, like I said, how crude that drawing is.
Yeah. And and even then, it's just you don't count the drawings, you count the time showing up. And a lot of the time, that's the biggest thing. How every artist I've ever listened to their videos, they just say it's just like I forgot the name of the artist, but he does a lot of art talks as well. Just showing up is the hardest thing.
Mm.
Sitting down and looking at the canvas isn't that. You have to just physically just do something. If it's a circle, let it be a circle. But at least drawing strategically with some type of plan every regulated time. It doesn't have to be every day, but just every regulated time you can will benefit you in the long run. So if you do, okay, I got 5 minutes a day because you work and so on and so forth. 5 minutes every day. So you're getting in that regulated time. 5 minutes, okay, I can practice a little bit of anatomy. I can practice a little bit of gesture drawings if I'm really like struggling here. Okay, those gesture drawings I can turn into characters. Those characters because it is interesting, not because I'm trying to do it to just make something to make something. It's just okay, study with a plan. Those doodles I have of gesture poses I can use to make actual poses. Then I can work on clothing, folds, bedding, perspective, getting all of those things that you can run up into a full idea of class. And there are online classes, strategies, and things like that that can help you out of that art block as well. It's just sitting down to say, I'm going to practice this today.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go from that into other things to make it a bit easier on yourself instead of, okay, I have to draw something today. And then not having to worry about, oh, I have to post something today. Because you don't have to post anything ever. It's just when you're comfortable posting, post, yes. But if you're doing it for that idea of, I want to draw to post, that's going to get discouraging quickly when either you don't get the feedback that you're looking for or the motivation runs dry. It's just
Right.
you have to do it for something. You can, well, granted, some people do it for money or whatever. It's their business, but it's just have some sort of plan, because you can't just sit there and draw a line and then expect to be able to draw anything other than a better line by the end of the week. And the better line is debatable because you didn't practice with a intended plan. It was just sit down, draw a line. Okay, I did my 3 minutes, go. It's sit down, how to draw better lines, how to draw better weighted lines, how to do better structured line work, and then learning through that. And then practicing, if you're doing calligraphy, okay, how do I do that particular curve in that line with a weighted slant that I don't have to go back in and then draw by hand? Okay, learn how to do that in one stroke. Keep going and then learning how to do that stroke correctly. Then shapes. How can you draw that in perspective? A cube, a sphere. Any of that is just going in and having to learn that in a better way than just beating your head against the wall. And there are always tutorials that can help you with that.
So, I would like to put what you said into a quote. Is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So basically, if you can't draw a line and practice drawing a line, and once you're done drawing that line, draw a line that curves. And once you're done with that, make that line that curves into a box. And then as soon as you draw that box, draw a circle, and then go on from there.
Yeah. I feel like that's decently what he had gone over.
Yeah. And even then, that can be, if you're needing context, I guess, to that one. Most of that was from 60 Day Art Tips by Mark Brunette, I think is the video. If not, it's in his Guides to Better Drawings videos. And he gives very in-depth ideas and concepts on how to get better in various stages of art. Granted, he is an actual art teacher, so that, yes. I always recommend him heavily for anything, and I still reference back to him just because his work is good and his tips resonate really well.
Understandable.
Another art. Oh wait, what were you gonna say something?
No, I was gonna add to some of the stuff. I wanted to talk about expectations, essentially. Essentially, when it comes to expectations of things, that one's, I feel like, another really hard hitter when it comes to essentially people having too high of an expectation for themselves. And so when you're learning, you can't set yourself up to have a heightened set of expectations because of the fact that you don't know how to do that. So you can't sit down and just know how to do it. That's not how learning works. So never set your expectations in the sense of you sit down, you create thing, and it works out. Like that's not how you learn, and that's not how you create.
That was really good. Thank you. All right. So Mo, you said something about like an art teacher, right? Well, I also have another famous artist on YouTube who goes by, I think it was like Mark Burnett or something like that. He teaches a lot about how to do digital art. What are ways for you to get better and other things like that, and as well as like another thing that he does is that he has like lessons that like are very well edited and scripted, and I think a lot of people will find him enjoyable, as well as easier or at least for me, easy to learn with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why I reference him a lot when it comes to work, because I still go back to his lighting tutorials that he had done previously. He did some updates to it, but even still, just like a lot of the stuff that he's done throughout the years was just, it helped a lot.
Yeah. Uh, you know, like one of my like hardest things that I have ever done has always been lighting. It's like shading I have no problem with, but lighting,
Yo, same. I
like I
hate
can't get those
lighting.
highlights to work.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're ever having those type of issues with those, he has videos as well. But one thing that I usually do that helps me personally is because I like seeing the time process and reverse engineering process is a video I constantly have running in the background is by TPPO, how to learn lighting, how to upgrade your boring lighting by TPPO on YouTube, and he uses Rella as one of their initial drawing sources, and I can actually put that in the chat. But they break down all of their lessons that they've had done into a video about how they use lighting and color in ways that is understandable. So they end up saying like, okay, you have to go back to, yes, the fundamentals of lighting. What is this? What is 3/4 lighting, rim lighting? So, and all of these other variants of lighting, and how are they used? What is the process? Why does it look this way? What is ambient occlusion? Going into slight areas of color theory, but initially just giving you an idea of, okay, this is why this looks good. This is why these things look bad, or it's not as interesting as the other version, or how it could look better. Is mainly just them going, okay, go this way, carve out the light in a particular shape. If it doesn't look right, off the base in its shadows, it's not going to look right altogether. It's just taking that bit of understanding of that shadow shape and making it interesting, making a lot of the things that you're working with for it to look more realistic and understandable. So it's just going back to the fundamentals and then just seeing, okay, what is wrong with my light? And sometimes it's hard to see right from the get-go, but somebody can just usually go in and say, okay, it's that. The shadows don't curve correctly. Even in Mark Brunette's videos, it was just you're using too many brushes or too many textured brushes, or you're trying to go at it as if it's something foreign. In his older videos, it was just like, oh yeah, I have to get all the details and the muscles. It's like, no, you got to get the standard shape first. It's a cylinder. It's a sphere. Shade as a cylinder or a sphere. Then you can curve in and add all the other parts of it. But you end up making it more complicated in your head because it's just, oh, I need to draw this particular shape. You just need to draw that shape from its light source. Then you can customize it. I still have my areas of problems when it comes to like doing certain types of lighting, or like dual lighting, or all these other types of refractal lighting and things like that. Yes, but overall, it's understanding that these light sources are bouncing off an object. You know how to draw certain things from a direction, shadows from a direction. It's just, okay, you get your base shadows, then you add in your other shadows over top. You add a bounce light from the ground. It bounces off from the main lighting, which is the sky. That's blue lighting that hits the green grass, and then it bounces back and then hits a red shirt. It's going to be that combination mixture diffused, and then you're just going in and seeing like all these things. And actually, Marco Bucci does a good color theory video on how to tackle that topic. But overall, it's just what areas are you having problems with? Is it the realistic? Is it the believability of the lighting? Is it not bright, or if it's not pungent enough? Or are you having issues with subsurface scattering? With just the underlayers of like materials, is everything too shiny because it's not the right materials? It's like, okay, is it wet skin? Is it metal? Is it wood? Is it rough wood? Is it stained wood? All those things go into how the light and color will interact with it. And then going back to the fundamentals, it was just like, okay, if it doesn't look pungent enough, are your values correct? If your values aren't correct, it doesn't matter how many colors or things you add to it. The values are wrong. It's going to read, when you flip it to black and white, it doesn't read as coherent. It's just all the colors washed together. But yeah, that's from what I've learned so far from how I've seen a lot of the issues that I've run into.
Okay. Now, are you guys ready to get into the next topic?
Sure.
Yep.
All right, give me 1 second. Okay, throughout the entire conversation, I will have you guys know I was having like some technical difficulties through
That's okay.
it wasn't through my stream. It was through my fucking Photoshop. It was through Photoshop. Like I wasn't able to do anything other than use my select tool, and it was so annoying. And so, like, if viewers, if you were wondering why I was if you were wondering why my why I had to go to my homepage for like a minute, that is why. I don't know what's wrong with my Photoshop. I think it might have something to do with my laptop or something like that, since it's like very.
You were telling me about technical difficulties literally earlier today. I'm wondering if there's something going on with your laptop, honestly.
It's not. It hasn't been hacked. It hasn't been hacked. I'll tell you that.
No. I'm not talking about hack.
If you need like a particular update, that can also be a thing. But if it comes down to like turning Windows Ink off, if it's like a driver update for your drawing program or tablet that you're using, that can also be a thing, depending on if you're using a drawing tablet, drawing monitor, or any of those. I've had that issue mainly just because of the certain things conflict with the driver I have, and especially if I got like one of those little add-on things to have like custom widgets and not widgets, but custom pieces for any of my drawings, or what do you call it? The scroll wheel thing. Certain things don't mesh well with it, but just making sure your drivers are on and operating is usually the issue I run into.
I'll tell you this right now. It's mainly just because my laptop is like, it's a Windows 10. It's a Windows 10 laptop, so it's like very, very old. So
okay, and I still run Windows 10. Hello.
Oh, I did not know that. Well,
Windows 10 doesn't make a difference. The actual physical age of the laptop does. Also, depending on what version of Windows 10 you're using, because Windows 10 did have a recent update, but I think they finally got to the point where they're not pushing Windows updates anymore for Windows 10. I'm not 100%, but that's also because I work at said place that deals with that kind of stuff, of why I even know that information. But Windows 10 is probably not the problem.
do you okay, wait, allow me to save myself right here, right? So, I'll tell you this right now. I got this off of I got my laptop off of Facebook Marketplace. So that's why it's like that's why it's like this, because someone else had it beforehand, and
he a little busted. He a little used. He a little well used.
Yeah, he's a little used. Which yeah. But anyways, let's get back onto topic. Let's get into our next question. What do you think of AI art? Are there ways that we can use it as a tool as well as are there ways that AI monitors or AI makers can have or go along with, or I mean, I should say, work with artists for training AI instead of it being stolen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a massive opinion when it comes to AI art stuff. Because I haven't really inquired about any of that a whole lot. It really comes down to what are you using it for. If you're sitting there and you're fucking around and you're not really doing anything that has to do with like anything that's hurting anybody, right? You're sitting there and you're fucking around and you're using it for maybe, let's say, purposes of trying to get a character across, and you're just trying to find like something to help you try to flesh out some of the ideas and things like that. If you're using it, let's say you're building yourself a reference. Let's say you're like something like that. Things that you're not actually using that art for could potentially be helpful. But things that you are using that art for whenever it comes to hurting, so like let's say that you're using AI for, take for example, I'll talk a little bit about the Power World stuff. Everybody thinks that it's AI associated with the Power World stuff. It's, from what I understand, it's not, but let's say that, for example, it was. That shit's cringe. Because why would you sit there and take AI art and then make it into something? That's taking an amalgamation of a shit ton of other people's ideas and other things that people have came up with and just like mushed it together. I think that references are fine. I don't think that anything other than, let's say, references and things like that are good. Because of the fact that it's essentially ripping people's art, regardless of how many things you mush together. Plus, it doesn't even look good. You're sitting there, and there was one time I came across a TikTok video, and this chick is showing me about these like steampunk bunny rabbits, and this little bunny rabbits look pretty cool. And then
so you like look at it very closely, and you're just wondering like, why is his ear backwards?
Yep. So it's just one of those things where like it can be a tool, but most people that use it don't. And the people that do use it as an actual tool, thank you for not being a cringe nene baby and like using that as something that is, you know. Meanie and steel.
Honestly, I have a friend who uses AI art. Well, not, he doesn't use it and sell it like some people do, or use it as his own. What he does is that he's a beginner. He's a real beginner artist. I think he's like inside the chat now. He's hearing me talk shit about him.
Damn, that's crazy.
but he uses AI art to get references, and like I'm also helping him write a series. I'm not gonna say what it is due to him wanting it as a surprise later for his like own channel and stuff like that. But I'm helping him I'm helping him draw the characters inside his series and stuff like that, and he uses AIs to like give me a reference of like something that would work, you know, like for example, like let's say the character that we're drawing right now. Let's say if I didn't have like any idea what I wanted to start with. So what I would do is that I would just like, you know what, I'll go to like an AI and find something and find someone who has like somewhat of a close art style towards mine, and just like maybe like use it to use it as like a reference for myself. Like I think AI art would be used for, instead of it being claimed as your own, it should be used as, oh, okay, so do something like this and it'll probably look so much better. Or I'm having an artist block and I really want something to draw but I can't think of anything, so I'm just gonna draw this of what I see here that the AI has made instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so honestly, yeah, for me, a lot of the time it goes back to a video I've seen where people were talking about a animator was talking about, okay, what was it? Watch Mulan in 150 FPS. It makes the drawing so smooth and all this other kind of stuff. And they're adding layers into it. It's like an AI that adds more. It makes things 60 FPS. And he's saying it is a tool. It makes certain things okay. It's like, oh, if you're wanting to use it for like slow-mo, real life stuff, that's what they've made it for. They didn't say it was going to work for animation, because if you're animating on twos, it's going to look different. It's going to try and it's going to jump from like 12 to 48 frames. It's trying to understand a human element. It's taking a lot of the rules that are in animation and just throwing them out the window. And it is a tool to fill in the gaps of certain things. There are ways to use it properly, but some people don't. And a good example of that is the Persona remake that they did before this one that's currently coming out. That was fully AI art.
That was fully AI art. Are you serious?
I remember them talking about it.
And it bombs just because of the fact that a lot of the stuff that was in the back of it, like a lot of the art that was around it, was regenerated. A lot of the colors were retexturized, put through a system, and then it muted a lot of the colors. It wasn't supposed to do that. Some of the backgrounds and the clocks, certain settings in the game are unreadable. Even like the shop in the mall district in the game, there's a picture of Jack Frost that's completely deep fried because it just doesn't look right.
Shit, that's crazy.
And the color,
I forgot about that.
And then they've remade. They are making the current Persona 3 remake, but they also were going off of the PlayStation 3 Persona 3 F something Fez something from the PS3. So it was already a limited
crunchy, yeah.
And then they just bumped that up and then put it into a worse aspect. So it's just, if it's used correctly, sure. But if you're going to use it as opposed to actually understanding that you do need an artist to understand the gaps that are in it, then you're going to have some issues. But it's just, AI can't understand smear layers. They don't understand like certain things like emphasis, add-ons, lean-ins, and all these things that go into animation. And then you throw that into art, and okay, it's gonna understand what a torso is, but not fingers, certain problems with perspective. It will learn.
The biggest things with AI is the fingers. Ugh.
Like I'm pretty sure if you were to ask an AI to do like a fisheye perspective or anything that's higher than like 2, it'll probably lose its mind and won't know which goes where.
And that's the thing. It's like, it is a good tool. It is good for learning certain things about what you're wanting to do, but overall, it is a tool nevertheless. So if you're wanting to say, okay, I need an idea for something, okay, that works. If you're needing, like, if a job is coming to you and they can't give you references, because some people, they don't know. They just type in, okay, I want this character to have a sword, I want this character to have this, and this, and this, and this. It will generate something, and they have a physical copy of what their idea is, and they said, I want this, but take away certain things. that works for the customer. If you're doing it for any of the things like, okay, I want something for my D&D campaign, but I really don't want to pay for something I'm only doing for fun with my friends. AI works. I need an orc that that is a monk or whatever, and they'll give you that generation. But again, it is only for a reference or fun or a lot of these things. And even then, the artist has to be compensated because you can't just go and rip off everybody because of that. And they will have are running into the issues that they're running into now because they think, oh, it's just trying to get over the creative freedom licenses and legal jargon stuff.
Oh yeah, all of the legal jargon stuff recently.
And that's still, you're trying to get over something that shouldn't be there in the first place.
Yep.
Just, if you're using it, use it correctly. It's just a tool. So for me, it's like, okay.
Saying, man, don't be schmelly.
Because even like Proco was talking about how they're using it to make an AI that is used for teaching. And it teaches you based off of a structured form. It's not going to teach you like certain things. It's going to teach you the basics, what anybody can teach you. And it's only going to give you these informations. And it's just a tool. So for me, it's interesting, but when people are getting ripped off left and right and all this other kind of stuff, no, now y'all are starting to dip into something y'all are getting back into some problems. So it needs to be done right.
Yeah.
Is my whole deal.
Yeah. And the thing about animating on twos, right? Like I've tried, like I've done a bit of animation. Like I will not say at all that I am not a professional, so take my word with a grain of salt, if you will. But like animation in general is super hard, especially when you want to learn the way of motion, the physics, as well as making sure everything stays constant at a constant rate. Also looks like the same thing as it did the last page, or like the last frame or anything. That goes with like pretty much any type of animation. It's like whether it's 2D or 3D. It's like, as you said, AI is meant to be a tool. It's meant to help you. It's meant to either help you or artist out, and it's not meant to be used for like such big profit gains and like, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but they say that Disney's Wish was like made by, like, the whole thing was mostly made by AI. Have you guys heard of that?
I
heard something about it, but I didn't really think of it.
I was just saying, I kind of wondered how true that was, honestly, because I heard it and I was like, maybe, I don't know, because like I didn't really look into it because I wasn't interested in the movie. Because as soon as they showed me the song on TikTok of the villain guy, I was completely turned off. I have no interest. I have absolutely no interest in watching Wish now. I don't know.
Like,
instantly turned off.
Like I saw that too, and I'm like, this is supposed to be a villain song. What happened to like Princess and the Frog, or like any other like villain song? Like they've had like such good ones. I don't know why this one was so off-putting.
It wasn't the song itself, it was the context, honestly, because like listening to it, it's like, you've had better villains. What are you doing, Disney?
And the thing about this, right, is that Wish had like a good message behind it, right? Like, it was about like why all wishes should come true. And obviously you don't want every single wish to come true, because there is definitely some like lunatics out there, some people that are like crazy and stuff like that. But the way not Han, the way on how they executed it so was like so weird, and it felt like there was like no human. There was like it was like no human connection like at all, and it felt like, oh, this is so cheesy, or like why is this even there?
Hmm. I feel like a whole lot of the most recent like anything Disney has been just hella mid, but that's just me.
I just don't watch a lot of stuff with. I've never really watched a lot of Disney stuff. Like I recently just watched the Elementals. So
oh god, that one's actually good, but that's Pixar. Yeah. Ironically enough, there's a difference.
Oh yeah, I just mean I
like Disney in general. I got you.
I don't watch a lot in general. So it's just which I do need to fix. But yeah, it's just
you don't got to
heard about
interested.
It. Well, I need to build up understanding of a lot of the stuff that's out there. So I have to consume the media so I can learn the media.
Right.
But it's just overall, it's just like, hadn't had interest. And when I heard about Wish, it was just like, another musical.
Right.
Didn't really care. But nothing against it. It's just I don't watch a lot of it.
Yeah.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, overall it's just if it is, that sucks. But overall it's just you can't get rid of a lot of the process of drawing something physically. There has to be a human element. It's just like running into that issue of like the live action Lion King. It fell flat because a lot of that stuff was not. You got the expressions from the exaggerations, all the things that were put in to make it exaggerated and not real. So making it real only made it worse. Mm-hmm. Or it just wasn't done correctly. It could have been done correctly, but
I think it was more coming down to like not being done correctly because of the fact that they didn't take the time to do it. A lot of Disney's recent works have been rush jobs, and that's like the biggest thing of like what people need to think about is that you can't just like rush something and expect it to actually be a decent turnout. Now, can you work fast because of the fact that you have that skill? Sure, but if you don't have that skill, don't do it.
All right, I'm gonna pull in this time and ask. Have you? How far are you guys with the faith drawing?
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I did a doodle and I kind of like fell flat with it, with the pose and everything. I'm gonna have to mess with it later. But I do have her on paper.
I'm done with a rough sketch and coloring layer. Just at this point, it was as much as I was doing. I didn't know exactly how far to go with it, but here is what I got. Oops. That is not the right button. Okay.
Me. So.
And.
Right. So, I also haven't really finished it either. I could definitely do better than this, but this is like a rough idea of what I was trying to do, and I'm most likely gonna finish this one later, you know. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I put it. Where'd you put it? In the general or general?
All right. Do you guys want to compare? You guys want to try to compare drawings to see how far you guys got?
Sure. How will we do that?
So I'm going to share my image in Discord, and you guys will too. And then as soon as we see each other's, then I'll put I'll put your guys's of what you guys have so far and put it on the stream, and then I'll have these two voters here, our two viewers here. I think one of them's not a bot. I hopefully not. But our yeah, my two viewers here, and are any of you guys streaming right now?
Yeah, technically I am.
Okay.
I can show things.
You think you can have your chat vote as well?
Sure. I only have one in here right now, which is A-okay, but that's one more person.
All right. Let me just save. Let me just export this image as a PNG real quick. That's weird.
Stocking that like flew on the side of the hair, and like how it's more exaggerated in certain aspects, or is like a particular like heavy line work or very cartoony style with influence of Western and Eastern. That can also, it works. It just depends on where you're going with it. So usually just having a particular flow is the bigger thing. So like certain aspects of the side areas, like it's having a directional flow for the hair. So if you look at say Panty, their hair is like that, but their hair goes in a standard direction from the base. So usually if it's going to be a wrap around the skull, you create the base for the head, and then you can kind of just go off of it with bigger shapes, kind of like clumping it together into like that. Draw a cone for the DBZ Super Saiyan hair. It's like it's a big cone, and then you draw the little lines in it. It's usually how it is. It's drawing the simplest big shape and then forming the hair around the head. And then after that, it's mainly just if you're wanting to do a particular style, throwing in anything in particular for that, it can work. But overall, it's just where you're wanting to go with it. So usually just pulling certain aspects of the arm or anything along those lines. But just depends on your style that you're wanting to accomplish for the drawing. So if it's like hollow ears, one line ears, very simplified styles when it comes to the mouth, unfinished lines, thick lines, anything in particular when it comes to that, you can go for that. It's just how you're wanting to accomplish it and how the reference or the artist style that you're wanting to influence goes by. So a lot of the stuff that I do for my stuff is like influenced by I don't remember the artist's name, but they work on a lot of Fire Emblem stuff. So usually they have this really heavy inked line work, and their shadows are like their foot, if it's behind them, is fully black. And then their line in front is like into a thick to thin lines. So I like that. So I usually try and incorporate it, but I still have that area to work on. But if that's where you're wanting to go for it, just figure out what areas you're wanting to go with. So usually if it comes down to like, I want to do like more tucked in shoulders or anything that's going into the style closest to like Skullgirls or anything that's like highly exaggerated, but you want that exaggeration, is usually going from a base of realism, kind of like Zero from Borderlands 2, and then extending it. So it's a slender guy as a frame, and then the head is more angular. You're going off of like these same shapes, but they're more pointed to understand, okay, it's a slender character. They're sharp on most ends of their body, so you get like that slender, sharp, kind of not villainous look, but going with a
mysterious.
Theme.
Yeah.
Just going with a theme. Mm-hmm. And shape language follows that theme. Mm-hmm. But it is good. It's just where you're wanting to go with it. What influences are you trying to go with to reach that area?
Mm-hmm. I would probably play around with your line language. Figure out what exactly you want to go with it. It's not necessarily that it's sloppy, because some people have their art style that they want sloppy line language. It almost looks like you're not sure what you want to do with it. That was like my biggest thing, is that you're not sure if you want thicker lines or thinner lines, and that's okay. It's just one of those things where like you gotta play around with it, playing around with different like line languages and things like that.
Yeah. Um. uh. Sorry. Okay. As I said, like I am a new artist, or like I'm not new when it comes to like art in general, because I have like some really good hand drawn ones, and like my illustrations or anything that has to do with paper is like 100 times better than what I do on the digital plane. So I'm still trying to figure out my, as you said, my line language, as well as
I've been there.
yeah.
I started using my iPad in 2020, and I had only ever touched pen, pencil, paper, all the way up until then. And I am now here in 2024, being as many years in as I have been, and I'm still learning how to do line art, because it fucking sucks. That's the one thing that I feel like I hate the most, is line art. And because my sketch layers are as fucking messy as they are, I can't justify not lining my art. I've thought about doing the thing where they talk about just going through and like cleaning up the sketches, and I haven't experimented with that yet. But like,
it's better to redo the whole sketching than trying to sculpt drawing. Like I understand like the you draw and then you like carve away your sketch to reveal the tiny line work. But it's hard to do that because you're working off of a sketch base. So some people it works, some people like it. That's fine for them. Yeah. But if you're working off of a sketch, you may end up transferring over some problems from the sketch to the final ink. And I've done that a lot.
Yeah, I just now noticed that I did that with this. Ooh, okay.
But I guess if it comes down to it, what program do you use?
I use Photoshop.
Photoshop? If you're wanting to, Mark Brunette has a brush pack. And it's like auto done and everything. It's free to get, and he advertises it on most of every of his videos.
Oh yeah,
and it gives you the ability to work with a lot of the stuff that you're sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. It's kind of like it helps with it because I had the same issue with it. It was just like, my lines feel funny, and it's like the pressure was off. So usually, if it came down to it, that was kind of where I was going with a lot of the line art stuff. A lot of the time, if it came down to it for just any of the rest of the stuff, I guess for me, it's just like, okay, these things help, but a lot of the time I just usually have to just mess around with the program to figure out what tools work for me. But going to the base ones is usually my biggest deal. So right now I stopped using a lot of the fancier brushes that I got, or more custom brushes, and then just went back to using the regular pencil sketch. And then just only doing a lot of my stuff in that one, just so I don't start overdoing a lot of the stuff that I did. But yeah, I guess that's where my head's at. But yeah.
All right. Hey, Misfit, do you want to know something crazy?
What's up?
The design that you did was actually very close to the
Called
original
it.
design for it.
Yeah, Maddie,
And
with some
Mo,
fucking
you
fishnets.
also are like very close to the most recent
Hold on.
design I have for Faith.
Let me show y'all. This is the character he's talking about. For those of you that are in my stream, I fucking knew it. I called it. She a body with some fishnets and some chunky boots.
She was a baddie with some fishnets and some chunky boots. But my inspiration for my art style is funny enough,
Midler?
it's not panty and stocking, but I do see why many people say that
Yeah.
it looks like panty and stocking the art style of panty and stock. Oh god. Anyways, you all know what I'm trying to say, but it's
Yeah.
actually based off of Unknown Spy.
Oh.
Unknown.
Oh, Unknown Spy is actually a similar art style to that. If it's the one that I think that it is.
Yeah, it most definitely is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I try to like.
I know him.
I have like other art styles with this too. That I do, but this one is like an anime slash cartoonish style. So it
Nice.
has like the proportions of a cartoon character, but it has like the feel of an anime character.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I've got a lot of different things that influence my art style. Misfit started out technically as an Animal Crossing character, so.
Man, I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see the earlier design of Misfit.
If you go into my my little area that says Misfits Grimoire, at the very top of my Discord, all of my art is actually in there from the beginning of conception all the way until Misfits' current what the fuck is it called? Character sheet. There we go. all of that is in there.
All right, bet I'll go look in there for some to see how long I have to go. I already know I'm not really gonna win this art competition between the three of us.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Chief. I didn't even know this was a competition, so I think it's more or less that we should all appreciate each and every one of the art pieces that was created today because of the fact that none of us even knew.
I honestly wasn't really planning on doing a non-competition, but I was just like, oh, you know what, this might be fun, you know. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so now that we got this rough idea of Faith, you guys want to try to draw another character? Because we only have one more question left, and we can just do just a sketch.
So I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm still on that, like, I take forever to draw things. I don't mind taking the prompt and saving it for the next time that we come together and doing this, but I'm currently working on something for Valentine's at the moment.
All right. What about you, Mo?
Sure.
All right. So, me and you are going to do this next prompt that I have right here. Okay. We are going to draw our friend here, Misfit. We're gonna draw Misfit.
Damn, okay, he's done that enough, so don't make it a contest.
Okay.
I just find it a fun exercise.
Wow, I feel like I'm at a big disadvantage here. Jesus.
That's why I'm saying don't make it a contest. Just doodle.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
You don't have to make it a contest.
I won't make this. This won't be a contest.
Yeah.
I'll just see how good I can do it at this point.
If you need to, you can go grab my character sheet out of that channel in Discord. So that way you have a reference.
Bet. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me just put in another thing in here. Don't know why I did that. Okay. Whoa. It just ended the stream. Oh my god, finally. Okay, we're back in. We're back in. Jesus, I have no idea what just happened.
Oh, dude, half the time I don't even know how to function on the internet, so I don't fault you at all.
Okay, hopefully my 2 viewers come back. Give me 1 second. I know.
Sometimes they just kind of hang out and chat, so maybe you'll get lucky. Oh, come back.
There we go.
Right.
God, I wish I knew how to draw a chair.
Okay,
This looks like shit.
Reference. Grab a chair.
I know. I'm kind of guessing. I've been like.
Don't guess.
Okay.
Don't let your chairs be guesses.
Now that we are back with my stream that I finally got fixed, I have no idea what just happened. Okay. So now our last and final question before we go to chat and have them ask us questions. Our last and final question is: what do you think? What do you think of how the anime? Oh god. Okay, what do you think of how the animation industry has evolved as a whole?
It's a very vague question that I'm not entirely sure how to answer, to be 100%. It's cool that they've moved into 3D modeling, but I also feel like that there are instances that they should be calling back to their roots and doing 2D. That's like my only real opinion that I have about it, honestly, because of the fact that like as soon as Disney was like, wow, it's so much cheaper to edit things in 3D and do 3D editing and stuff, like that shit's cool. But also, like, there are some things that would have been executed better and or looked better in a 2D spectrum. But that's, like, the only thing I have on that one.
They also say that, like, 3D animation is, like, much more expensive than 2D. Mainly, that's probably due to, like, the 3D models themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It used to be. But nowadays, 3D editing is the way to go because of the fact that that is actually what's cheaper comparative to 2D. Whenever they first started 3D, which was like whenever they first heavily started doing 3D, let me say that. Because when they first did 3D, it was Toy Story and it was very expensive. But when they first started heavily doing 3D, which was Tangled, it actually was something that was still kind of expensive, but it was definitely a lot more accessible. So that at that time, they were moving gradually towards doing more 3D type projects because it actually ended up being cheaper than doing a 2D animation movie.
Okay, so thank you for the brief history lesson. I did not know that it got cheaper. I thought it was like.
Oh, dude, don't get me on my Disney soapbox. Don't.
I won't even try it. next time I do a video on a Disney movie, I'll go to you first. All right. So, oh god, the hat is like awful. Give me 1 second. Jesus, what happened to my hat? What So, oh, like this question was like, it was like in the back of in my mind for like quite some time, and I like I wanted to get some people's opinions on how people think the animation industry, like as I said, has evolved. Like take DreamWorks for example. Like they
Mm-hmm.
went from like that one ants movie that they made such a long time ago
Mm-hmm.
uh to Kung Fu Panda, and then now that thing's a trilogy, to like one of the most recent and most proudest works that they've done, and everyone is still talking about, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh, dude. Oh, I love Puss in Boots. I love Puss in Boots as a character before that movie came out, but they did him so much justice. And like, ugh, my boy.
Yeah, the like uh, The Last Wish is like one of my favorite movies that I'll probably ever watch. To be quite honest, uh, that's it's it's better because I like the pastel look, the oil pastel look on the
Mm-hmm.
on the on the movie itself. Like it's so clean, and it makes it look like I'm just watching a painting just move.
You know, some of the
So,
first stuff that they actually started doing that with was actually Arcane, and that's how they kind of came to the conclusion of how to do it.
oh yeah, Arcane is also a very good show that I've seen. I'm planning on doing a
Mm-hmm.
review series on that one.
Someone
Uh,
Nice.
say League.
Sorry, League.
I
That'd be soothing.
probably might play the League of Legends game, maybe.
Dog, you don't gotta. You don't.
Don't.
You don't. You don't gotta go down that hole.
That's a can of worms you don't want to open if you're getting into it off of Arcane. Just wait till the MMO comes out. Granted,
Well, no,
it's gonna be another 8 years, but
I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out in like I could have sworn I saw a trailer saying that it was gonna come out sometime this year. I think it was like a
the
teaser trailer or
MMO.
something like that.
Oh, that might be some of their other games, Project X
Yeah.
or any of the other Yordle based games. But yeah, that MMO, they're still in works for that, and it's gonna be a good bit. They said rough estimate is gonna be 10 years.
Ooh, when did they start it?
2 years ago was when it was leaked,
Oh,
the information. So 10 years total.
I'm gonna be old by the time it comes out.
That
Oh.
I would have to say that the 10 years timeline um probably doesn't really add up, considering how expensive animation is, and knowing Netflix, they don't really want to spend all that money on one show, because they have a history of like canceling shows and stuff like
No,
that.
no, 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 honey. He's talking about the game.
Oh, the
Oh yeah, the
game?
MMO.
Yeah, he's talking about the
Yeah,
MMO.
yeah,
Oh,
not the Arcane. That should be coming out probably later on this year.
Yeah, I could see that.
I
I'm
think.
trying to think of when the first season came out. It was like a year or two ago.
Yeah, midway through March,
Yeah.
February,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere.
I can't remember if it was last year or the year
January.
before.
I think it was probably January or August.
Maybe.
January if last year, August probably the year prior.
Probably, yeah, that makes sense.
It's been a
Timeline-wise.
bit. Yeah, guess I got what I'm doing. Guess this'll work for right now. I don't want to go too heavy into this.
Alright. Speaking of shows, right? Has Been Hotel. What do you guys think of it?
Bro, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Oh my god, Has Been Hotel is.
I've had loser baby stuck in my head literally all day. I want to slam head against desk because get it out! Get it out!
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm a loser, baby. Yo, that song is like so clean.
Adorable.
And like, and the show itself, you know, like, to be quite honest, I'll tell you this, like, right now, I kind of thought Has Been Hotel wasn't gonna come out because of, like,
The
how...
better death song.
Yeah, because of, like, how companies are sometimes with their like projects, like you know how like Warner Brothers was gonna release a the Coyote movie or something like that. What was his name again?
I'm talking about Wile E. Coyote?
Yeah, Wiley the Coyote movie, but they...
No, his name is literally Wile E. Coyote. That is his name.
I am not gonna remember that.
That's okay.
I'm just gonna
I'm
call
just
him.
letting you know that it's not
the
Wile
coyote
E.
that gets injured.
I'm just letting you know that it's not Wile E. the Coyote for the title. I don't remember what the title of the movie is, but that is his name.
Yeah, I just remember it mainly just because every time I keep thinking of it, I just have there's cartoons and cereal, the actual, somebody did like a cartoon animatic cartoon mashup over it.
Oh,
And
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but then there's still the part in Looney Tunes that I always watched as a kid where it was just, who are you? I'm Wile E. Coyote. Hands him the business card, Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
So that's always been stuck in my head. But
The but yeah, what was I gonna say again? Back to Has Been back to Has Been Hotel. It is like so good. Like, I don't usually like musicals all that much. Like, I'm not really much of a person who watches a lot of musicals a lot. So the fact that I'm like watching this, like, when, like, the day it comes out, and as well as as well as like every episode that comes out afterwards is like so like weird to me. Like, I'd never thought I'd get in so much into a musical, and I have to blame my little sister for that.
Damn, that's crazy. I mean, I've just been patiently waiting for Has Been to come out because I was like the rest of the internet, waiting my 4 years dead for the one thing that I found a special interest in to come out. No, but I actually have been staying up to date because of the fact that I actually really like Hell of a Boss.
Oh yeah,
So
Hell of
if
a
you
Boss
want-
is also very good.
If you want something that's less musical, I definitely would highly recommend Hell of a Boss as well.
Oh yeah, I've also been
Now-
watching Hell of a Boss. Don't get me
Now-
wrong. I am caught up on that show. I will not miss a single episode whenever they come out with one.
Now, when it comes to the theories of what possibly is going to happen next, a lot of people keep saying that spoilers, whoever is watching, please don't yell at me. I'm gonna spoil something for you.
My stream
Warning.
as well, please.
Right? No, yeah, that's why I was like, I made it very clear.
Cover your ears.
Oh, but I'm pretty sure that Emily is gonna be the next fallen angel. Just thinking.
Oh, I think so too.
Also, there's people talking about the theory of the fact that they think that Adam has actually been a human that went to hell and was redeemed because he seems very demon-like for an angel. So I kind of like that theory too. I think that's interesting. And they were saying because of the fact that exterminators also look very demonic like. They are also people that have been redeemed, and I'm just like, aha, so demons can be redeemed, and you just are big liars. But we shall see what the series has in store for us.
Yeah, I think I think that theory has kind of been a bit disproven due to the most recent episode. Spoiler warnings ahead. But like during the song, like Adam was like wondering like how getting into heaven works, and it seemed like he's been there like the entire time throughout the song, and also throughout the entire time he was like asked that one question, you know, like he literally does not know how we got there.
So here's the thing about that. How much of an asshole do you think Adam is? And also, how much of that do you think is a lie? Because me personally, I can see him lying his ass off saying, oh, I don't know how this works. Because he's a narcissist, personally, from my perspective.
Yeah,
But,
that does make sense. That does make sense, especially with like all the angels being like super jittery and like super kind or something like that in the show, and Adam's like the only one. Well, not really the only one because his assistant is also kind of mean.
Yeah, the lieutenant.
Yeah, the lieutenant's also kind of mean, but
Nah, she's a bitch. What you mean?
okay, so I can say that now. All right, she's a bitch.
I mean, so long as your stream is labeled 18 plus, I always see it as like doing it as a PG-13 kind of blanket statement where like you get at least like 1 to 2 cuss words per stream.
Okay, so I haven't cussed it throughout this entire stream. I should be good. I don't know about you.
But what about Vaggie? Vaggie is just a sad, lonely girl that ended up that she just was she was for the bad side and she got screwed for it. That's all I have to say about that.
Alright, I need to make this line
Yeah.
much bigger.
She just got screwed because of the fact that apparently they're all POSs. All of the exterminators, let me say that. I'll specify it to all of the exterminators or POSs. I'm pretty sure that has to do with Adam. To be perfectly honest, that's another thing, is that the exterminators basically kicked Vaggie out of like being an exterminator and left her in hell. So that tells me that there's some bad shit going on with specifically the exterminators, because I don't even know if people in heaven know that she's down there until she came up with Charlie. Like, that's the thing. They didn't address it. Like, Sarah didn't address her, and Adam was the only one that did address her. So I don't know if like Sarah and Emily and all of the other angelic characters actually even knew she was down there, besides Adam and the exterminators. That's what's super fucked to me.
Yeah. Can we talk about Alistair's design?
Sure. What about it?
Like, I love the like he looks so much better than he did in the pilot.
Oh, in the pilot.
Yeah, I rewatched the pilot episode and I'm like, wow, wow, the amount of things you can do with the industry budget is insane.
Did you notice that in one of the scenes, Angel Just actually was in his pilot outfit during one of the episodes?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I thought that was kind of interesting. That must have alluded to... Hold on. That must have alluded to past tense because of the fact that it was a video that he was... Well, I see why they did that now. That's funny.
What?
It's essentially a callback to the pilot because it happened before the pilot. So it was a callback, essentially, is how they played it off. The video that he was showing, yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense. Oh man, streaming does take it out of you when you're trying to talk throughout the entire thing. My throat hurts.
Gotta get some ginger honey tea. Soothes the throat.
I have some peach. I know I have it here somewhere. Some peach stuff over here.
Nice.
Give me 1 second. Let me just grab my spoon here, cause I know my friends are watching.
$11? Dog, I start losing my voice after 5. What do you mean 11? How? But no dice, dog. Oh. Good job. So how did Streamathon go anyway? Are you still doing more of that?
Me?
No, I was talking to chat while you were doing whatever you were doing.
No.
I was patiently waiting for you to eat your spoonful of honey. Making conversation.
Oh my god.
What is that all about, Bon? Nobody wants carrots.
They're summoning demons.
Alright. I'm almost done with my line art.
All right.
Oh god, I messed up. How far are you, Mo?
I was done.
Oh,
I just
you were
did
done?
Oh yeah, I put it in the.
Yeah, he did
in
just
there.
like a little quick sketch. Just lines. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Alright, let me just finish up this line art and then I'll show you
Nice.
what
I
I
really
did.
like the way you did that.
I couldn't
honestly.
find the reference photo, so I had to go off of what I saw during your streams as well as
That's okay.
the recordings that you sent to me for
Yeah.
editing. And
That's fine.
I think I got it. I think I have it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
The way that you drew that, Mo, reminds me of that one character, and I can't think of her name from Dead by Daylight. It's very cute. I like it a lot.
Someone just sent me
Space, do you remember the witch lady's name? I can't remember the witch lady's name. I didn't actually probably play Dead by Daylight. I've been thinking about like doing spooky games recently. I don't know why.
My friend just told me if I'm checking chat. I don't see anything on chat. Well, at least on my chat, at least. I have to go to Stream Manager on my phone. Let me see. Huh. Nothing really has changed. I don't see anything. Oh, well. Okay, let me just finish up these these finishing details.
Yeah, Michaela. Do they have irises? Yeah, technically most characters have irises, it looks like. Originally, I was a Goetia. Right now, I have no fucking idea. I'm just kind of winging it. I'm a little bit thinking about doing a tiefling this time because it is Valentine's themed, but I just got like a inspo board going and I'm just gonna fucking go with it. His guy is kind of heavily inspired by this person's OC because I really like this design, but I'm gonna probably throw some like Alistair elements in there because I like Alistair's coat and his pants. I'm gonna play around with it a little more too.
My friend just sent me what she said in chat, and he said in here, damn bro, dropping the hard B, huh? And he also said, don't lick that damn jar, which I will not give context to.
I don't know that I want the context. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Chief.
All right, that's good. The less you know, the better.
Now you gotta say that. You gotta say it loud and proud. You gotta say that hard B with just biscuits.
Biscuits.
Damn biscuits. All right. Let me show you what I have.
Biscuits for the people in the back.
Okay.
What's up?
1 second. Ah, there we go. Chat. Oh wow. I'm very scared. Okay. Oh, I was sort of on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sort of on the nose.
Okay. That's pretty cool. We love when the character design lines up.
I almost had it. I was close enough.
Oh, that's cute. That could turn into like a little emote or something. Adorable. I think it's funny that it kind of turned into like sunglasses compared to glasses.
I was gonna put like stars into those sunglasses, but then I was all like, that's too much work.
Understandable.
Alright, so we're gonna take in some last minute questions from chat. Any of you guys have any questions for the artists up here?
So many questions.
Remember, guys, not all at once.
That is crazy. A little bit of everything all the time. Just a little bit of everything all the time. We need help on feet shoes. Bon, I'm gonna be honest. Feet, shoes, right? This box, triangle, and then you add like a little rectangle at the bottom. That's literally how I draw like feet and shoes.
Yeah, it's the triangular prism. Break it into 3 parts. You get the front, mid, and back heel section of the foot. Add an arch in the middle. And any bases when you're wanting to draw a foot in any perspective, always draw the sole of the foot first because it gives you a guideline of where it actually sits in space. And then you can actually go around and work backwards into how to draw the foot.
Oh, are we
Yeah.
talking about how to draw feet? Oh, okay, I got
Yeah.
you.
Anyway, let me add another here. Do you know? Do you know that bathtubs are reverse boats?
I was like zoning out for a second, and I look up and I hear how to draw like the soles of feet, and I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Oh no, you're good. It was just funny because all I heard was, wait, did somebody say something about feet?
No.
I have information.
I am not gonna tell him about Sonic Ginger Forge. I am not gonna do that.
Oh no! Not
I'm
the
not gonna tell him what I did with
dog.
Sonic. All right, that was
Not
it was a
Sonic.
pain. It was a pain, and it was horrible. I regret my decisions. Okay, it was
Not the Sonic Chan. Oh no! Gotta go fast.
like it was a very low point in my life. The guy said he was gonna give me $50. He didn't.
Damn, that's crazy.
I got scammed. He ended up with the art, and god damn. I let's change the subject now. Ginger Forge.
Okay, so about like graphite pencils, when you're really working with them and wanting to get into like stuff, when you're wanting to get the most use out of your graphite, you grind it down, sharpen the pencil, use a sifter and separate all out the graphite chunks. Use a brick and like a base and mortar, and then you can ground down those further to get like graphite powder.
So my one viewer said, how do you get around to drawing heads and hair?
Hair's lots of swoopies.
Yeah.
Just basically practice drawing swoopies when it comes to hair.
I would suggest just drawing it to draw hair, especially on a head, is to first work out the shape. Like let's say if you're drawing a ponytail, such as like on my character, you draw. I drew a cylinder for like the hair tie, and then I drew like a water droplet, but it's upside down. And I usually just use shapes to figure out what to figure out what the hair is gonna look like.
How to do necks. Next, you have to actually know how to do shoulders. Because if you don't know how to draw your shoulders, your neck's gonna look fucked.
It's a cylinder on a trapezius.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a lot of the things you have to learn for that.
And sometimes the neck is not even there. You just never know. You just have to make it seem like the neck is there.
Well, it's a cylinder on a circle.
Yeah.
So most of the time it's just learning how to draw these bigger shapes in space is usually the easiest way.
I'm back. I'm gonna stop.
Do you really want to finish that question? Do you really want to finish that song?
Yeah, on my stream technically, but I'm a guest, so I'm not.
I was gonna say I'm trying to have like a at least PG-13 stream here.
All right, then let's get out the kids bop version.
There you go.
You're good. Nah.
Wow, I just got insulted by my own viewer.
Then that's crazy.
He told me, which for some reason my chat's not really working for some reason. So he's like texting me all this stuff, and he goes, ask them how they should go about drawing it when you're in a constant art rut. And I'm just like lost for words.
Bro. Alright, I got a new one for you. My neck, my snack, my balloons, and my hack. There you go. The PG-13
Well,
version. Bros get roasted, bruh.
This sounds like Clowns Bop.
Hey, don't be talking about clowns up in this bee.
I'm just saying. If you
I know,
keep
but you're
doing
gonna
things-
scare her away, okay?
The only clown here is me, because I'm clearly
that's
a
crazy.
joke. Ha ha ha, badum chick.
Sir,
Yeah,
I will
that's
fight you
correct.
for that title. I got this honk nose for nothing.
So, are there like any more
Womp
questions from the chat? Hello?
Not me, says I. Nose goes. I don't know about yours, though. Is your clown detection meter going off the charts?
Of course it is. I'm in the stream. Why wouldn't it?
Damn, that's crazy.
I'm slowly losing my mind here.
Denied. You're not a clown.
Oh yeah, watch me pop up in like someone else's stream, and you're gonna see me like with a clown PNG, and you're gonna be wondering why that is.
Shenanigans.
Beep beep bomb machine. Is that what we're talking about, Bomb?
Wait,
I don't know. Bomb just goes beep beep. And I'm just like, beep beep bomb machine.
Mario?
Okay, so I have one question for my friend.
Okay.
He asks, how do you go about making a new character design?
Yo, you just figure out what you want to start with and find lots of things that are themed around it. So, like, Misfit has gone through 4 phases now and still is growing. So, it's a whole lot of, like, if you're wanting to change the character design, I think it's time to stay. Anyway, if you're wanting to change the character design specifically of a character, Misfit started out, as I said, an Animal Crossing character. And she has gone and evolved and actually turned more into a human, but has also had several different outfit changes. But that's because I picked a theme. So I have, like, let's say, a Borderlands version of Misfit. I have a version that's canonical to my friend Space's lore. I have different outfits for different seasons. It really depends on what you're going for that character. Building a essentially a Pinterest board. Mo's really good at this, and he can explain some of this here in a minute. But like making a board of ideas and trying to find the best things that you love about that character and just mushing it all together. Yes.
Sorry, I was just eating some peach honey. Alright. How I usually go about character designs?
What's up? Sorry.
How I usually go about character designs, it's the way on how I do it is by first I look up like the latest fashion or like latest fashion wear or something like that. So with my character Faith, I usually I usually just like people watch, and I see some people have like holes on their shoulders of the shirt or jackets and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, you know what, that'll probably be cool. Or with like sweaters such as what my character is wearing right now, I would just look at it I would take inspiration off of other stuff, and then just like as you said, like build a Pinterest board, or for me, I just like write stuff down or on like a piece of paper, or I just draw it and see if one thing works with another. And sometimes with with fantasy gear, or with like gear that is like not of this world, I take advantage of other shows and how they do their character designs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I went through, ironically enough, and I picked some of the character sheets from Borderlands. There was Borderlands 3 specifically, because they have like a whole book that's online. And I took the outfit from the Psycho, and I did some other stuff to the character design specifically. Let me see where that is at, so that way I can kind of break down what I did. There it is. So essentially what I did was I went through and I kind of studied how they do their line work, because Borderlands has got like the weird line art kind of thing that they got going on. I broke down that. And I took some different elements from a couple of different outfits. Like I took the gloves and the pouch. And obviously my hat is not something that's going to be within the Borderlands universe, but I kind of like altered the art style specifically for that. I thought it was pretty cool. So, that's like one of my favorite outfit designs when I have to say for that one. Another example of like something that I did an outfit design for was I broke down a lot of the feminine character designs from Paper Mario. And so I have essentially what is a princess design for Misfit that is Paper Mario themed that I like to use a lot. The only really way that I did the character design for my Space Misfit was that me as a mod in Space's channel actually, like, she designed a suit and I just kind of like stuck Misfit into that suit and altered it. One of the other things that I thought was really cool that I did at one point was I actually made my husband a Mario character, and I took the little like overalls and the Shy Guy mask and stuff like that, and I made him a little character design and stuff. So it's like pulling different elements from different things and knowing what you're wanting from those elements. Honestly, originally when the first iteration of his character, he was really into Gurren Lagann, so I took a couple of different elements like the jacket and then the pointy glasses from the brother, and I like kind of threw those together. And so like it's all just a matter of like knowing what you're looking for in the sense of like I like this specific thing, I like this specific thing, and just like figuring out what's the best method of putting those things together, be it through like color theory or just like design in general when it comes to that.
Mo, do you have anything to add?
Mood boards pretty much been covered. Reference been covered. I guess the best way I could say it. Think about your character in a scenario outside of everything that you're doing and see what the idea comes to be. Word association, anything you can do to make the character stand on its own in words. So you think about like certain characters, you think, well, granted, they have the character, a Proco. If you look up Proco character design, there's a video where they have a guest come on who does actual concept character art for their job. And they just say, it's like, okay, by origin, where are they from, so on and so forth, creating a mood board, what we've all talked about. And then they just talk about how to better understand what you're doing by word association. So if you think about, like, I guess how I went for mine, I did slime, necromancy, a lot of the stuff that kind of went with, like, putting a character together that's supposed to be closer to like a mysterious, cute look, but at the same time malleable enough to change if I ever needed to. So you usually think about characters that are more like the board I did for Mo was like Oz from Monster Camp, Shy Guy, Alistar from Pokemon Shield, Sword and Shield, and like a few other things, and it just turned into like a jalapeno Doritos bag, apparently. But
you did that to yourself. You paid for that shit.
But
now that I look at it, it does look like it's a Dorito.
No, it is. Talking about his little icon.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
Actually, wait,
now.
no.
It looks like he's holding a Dorito.
It's actually Cheetos. It's hot Cheetos. I remember. I drew that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the idea is just like, okay, what color palette do I want to go with? Okay, that was it. And then I realized either they're a tangerine or Cheetos. But it's just overall, you can break it down into its simplest form. Like even when it came to like when I draw Misfit or I draw Space's character, it's funny just because I can narrow y'all's characters down into literally a blueberry and
right.
strawberry lemon Starburst.
Right.
And it's just
literally
base.
Get called out, man.
And that's just the base for it. So it's just after that you can go in and say, okay, what can I do from those colors? Where can you experiment from it? So it's, if you have the standard color composition that you're going for, you split it into all the alternative routes. Experiment with what compositions you want to go for. Your big, medium, smalls. King Kill Lafferty does a good video. KNLN is they used to do a lot of work for other companies as well, but even Brooke Eggleston, they do character design videos, art help videos, motivational videos as well, but they all talk about the concept of creating a board, yes, but don't get lost in your board to a point where you have 200 pins and no idea what the whole character is supposed to look like. You just think, okay, that's supposed to go into, this is what I have an idea of what
Listen, Linda.
I feel personally attacked, man.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I've done it. It's just you have to narrow it down because the more you get into the character, then you're going to say, okay, they change in season 2. There is no season. This is an OC.
But there is seasons, Mo. I'm a VTuber. I have seasons.
Hey, look, I've evolved too. If you were to look at my channel, anyways, I went from a PNG that barely did any movement to with like a half-made green screen in the back, which I now know that was dumb for like no apparent reason. To this. It took me a couple years. I've also had some logo changes as well.
Oh yeah, it can always be upgraded and updated. Yes, it's just when you start with a base,
you're trying to get your bases.
Yes, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. It's like going into a kitchen and knowing you have every spice available to you versus, okay, I'm going to use garlic, onion, these things.
No, I'm just giving him a hard time because I showed him my Pinterest board the other day and he's like, what are you doing, woman?
Oh God, if I don't want to know how bad it looks. I'm pretty sure it could or could not be worse than mine.
It's not necessarily bad. I just have a lot of ideas. And Misfit is a multi-universal character where she is a time god, and so she goes wherever she wants to. And so I have lots of outfits that I have planned, and I just haven't drawn all of them.
Yeah, I understand their lore fluid, but
Ginger Forge says Pinterest is a blessing and a curse.
Exactly. If you're going on there, go with a mission, or you're going to walk out with things you don't need.
You have to go on the mission.
It's like going Black Friday shopping, but this time it's online. Well, I guess you're already doing that. So it's kind of a bad example. But hey, it still works.
And it's always
and
all of it's free. And that's
Yeah.
the best part, because now it's like, oh, this is good. I'll take this. I don't need this, but I'll take it. If it's on sale, I can always use it some point. And then
later.
And yeah, it's just gonna happen. But if you break it up into sections, sure. You break it up into tasks, even better. So it's like you make a board together, a short board for a one-shot idea of this particular character. Minimum 50 pictures, references.
Honestly, I'd go bigger. 60.
Well, that's the thing. If you're going bigger, you have to realize that, okay, what are you taking from those 60 pictures? Because you can't take a file of 300 images and have aspect of every single thing. It's, yes, you get the idea from it, you can get the mood from it, but if you're scrolling so much that you are scrolling more than you are doing the actual execution, it's hard to actually do anything, because
It's hard to
now
execute.
you're stuck in the research role rather than the execution role. So you're only, it's like, well, what do they call it? If you're only stuck in the process of thinking, all you will have to think of is thought.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is like
Don't
so
wanna
deep.
The cycle.
I was not expecting to get into this.
Oh yeah, that was very specifically why I brought Mo of all people in here with me.
Next time I do this, I'm gonna have like a bunch of quotes and like I'm gonna put a bunch of your quotes in here next time, Mo. Just like, but like Mo once said.
Okay, then I'll start it off. I can start it off with, yeah, let's just go with, yeah, we can do that. I'll just have that the only quotes in there are just terrible.
Mo once said.
I once said butter and socks makes all of the problems stop.
Oh God.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Chief. There was something else you was gonna say, and I kind of saw the silver lining in it, and you just literally fucking censored yourself.
Censored myself? No, it's just if they're causing problems.
That is.
Yeah, the butter sock. You just put the butter in the freezer.
Oh, whoa! Wait! Oh, I just got that. Fuck!
It's not a rock.
No, please stop. Change the subject.
Hello?
Please.
Welcome. Hello.
Oh, hey, babe. We're live on the internet. Kweepa! Hello!
I do not condone violence. It is not anything against violence. It's usually just the idea that if you ever need to get rid of if you're ever curious about a boomerang.
Damn, that's
I condone violence.
Babe, you shut your mouth.
I got one question. What should I call you? I have no idea how I would say this.
Who do what? Who are you asking?
Papa Zesty?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Papa Zesty. That's Mason. You just call him by his name. He doesn't care.
Okay, Papa Zesty. What's up? How you doing?
You can either call me Papa Zesty, Papa Pizza, or only fucking Bofadesius.
Just to say, he has many
what other handle
names.
do I
He has
go
many
with?
bases.
What's
I like
Bofadesius?
Bofadesius is what he changed
Bofadesius is my
to,
Twitch.
and he just never changed his Discord.
So you could
Okay,
call,
to be quite honest, the moment I said that, I thought you guys were gonna pull a D's nuts joke on me.
It is a D's nuts joke.
Oh shit.
you reverse fell into it.
You played yourself.
No, I was gonna just call him Dr. Domino's.
Hey, yo.
I thought everyone back went out there. No?
Yeah.
But
Maybe?
as I was
I don't
saying,
know, I'll figure it out.
we are live on a guest's channel. We're not live on mine specifically, so don't be schmelly.
Just seeing how well we've been doing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to live. Please.
Trying to figure out how to live, laugh, love in these conditions.
I'm trying not
Hey,
to.
I'm still at work.
I'm trying not to fall under pressure.
Under pressure.
Okay.
I am currently going to close my stream. So, with that being said, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for doing what you do. Creeper, if you're still in here, thank you for all the gifts. You're always such a lovely being. I will see you guys most likely tomorrow, so I see you on the flip side. Alright, okay, bye.
Bye, guys. Alright, I gotta end this stream.
That is too much Uber for me.
What's up, man?
I gotta end the stream here, like, maybe in like 2 or 3 minutes. As soon as I get this one thing going. So I'd like to say thank you guys for coming to my podcast, The Artist Talk. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to like get some water after this. Like, Jesus. And to you, my dear viewers, I really hope you guys get something out of this podcast, or any lessons or any new techniques. Obviously not from watching me, because I was clearly struggling throughout the entire stream.
Hey, everybody learns from something.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm not talking about like art wise. I'm talking about like technical difficulties wise.
Everybody learns from something.
Your next stream will be your next stream will be better. Your next podcast will be better than your last podcast. You've learned from the prior mistakes.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry too much about it.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
The next time I do a stream, it's going to like, my background is going to look so much more better than these blue and yellow squiggly lines, and a gradient that still like has no idea why it's there. Can I ask you, one of you guys, for help for stuff like this?
Depends on if I have the time.
Okay.
I could help. It just wouldn't be immediate. I'm on a deadline till March.
Oh shit! I didn't realize it was in March. Yeah.
Well, it's just everything has to be done by Valentine's Day, and it's just like.
Oh, you're right.
And everything has to be done prior to Valentine's Day, so I can get a lot of the other stuff mailed out. And if it's not mailed out, then it has to be just before anniversaries and.
I got you. Understand.
Yeah, I understand. So, with that being said, do you guys have any goodbyes? You guys want to tell my viewers goodbye? Or my viewer?
Goodbye, viewers.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that you have gained a nugget of knowledge.
All right. I'll try to do this artist talk once a month with the crew right here, along with a new artist next time. But that being said, I hope you guys have a good and wonderful day, and I hope you guys end your story with a great one. Bye.